Welcome, Leo, to your love reading for the week of April 13th to the 19th of 2020. And here I did do a reading for Taurus, and I believe they had some of the same advice as you here a little bit. Not the same exact, but when the death card is showing up to me, because me as a medium in the spiritual realms, I feel like things can happen that brings you clarity about certain situations that you have been dealing with, or someone that you have been dealing with over and over and over again. And it's trying to teach you a lesson in some way. Sometimes it can do that. So my advice, just on that, not reading into this current energy this week right away, but remind yourself, take notes anytime you have something that happens repeatedly, or a dream, or an instance, something that you remember, but it might be vague at times. Sometimes it tells you to write that information down and see what happens over the week or the course of the week, and see if something repeats for you. Ask, what do you need to know about the connection that you have with the person that you might be dealing with? I feel like that's important, because sometimes we can have spirits, we can have people come into our lives to manifest as physical human relationship partners, and sometimes they can be a figment of our imagination at times when they aren't there, when they aren't around. But when we run to that person or try to force that person into our lives, it can be something for you to realize spiritually about yourself and what you accept in a relationship. All right, so that's important. All right, so now when it comes to the connection, the person that you might be dealing with this week, there may be a lot of communication through email. There could be the desire to travel with this person, and sometimes you may be having dreams about them. Sometimes you hear certain music or songs and things that constantly come to you, and this could be someone maybe connecting with you in a psychic way, connecting with you to send you those things, and you don't know why you're doing it. When we are able to tap into our other abilities and things that we might have going on with us spiritually, these are things you need to place into perspective. But I feel that this King of Cups here may be an issue with you. Now, some of you, this could be someone new or someone from your past where you don't trust that person. There is a lot of communication or things coming through. You're not sure what's happening because that person may not be really expressing everything that's going on, being wishy-washy with their own emotional desire for you, often saying certain things and not following through, talking to other friends and about your situation or your personal connection, and not being honest about those things going on. And I clarified this King of Cups in reverse, and the Death card showed up, and that is often someone that has passed away, and you may dream about that person or something like that is going on. And just in a general sense, it's the energy of you moving on from someone that you may not have been able to connect with, and that energy kind of haunts you at times. And I feel here it's almost an energy of a lack of communication, or wanting to talk about certain things, or being able to, with that Eight of Swords showing up. So that seems to be a big issue of kind of staying somewhere or staying involved with somebody that doesn't seem to be having a lot of progress. Now, that's why we had that pay attention to the red flags, the signs of cautioning you, and you're wondering literally if you feel like you should wait for this connection. Now, when I see certain things, I don't read it literally all the time. It's not that way. And I feel in your love life, for a lot of you, you're going to have to allow some time to happen in order for things to become clear to you. If you're going to connect with somebody physically, with the work they're waiting for, divine timing is at work in your love life. It doesn't automatically mean the exact person that you're dealing with right now, because you might be passionate about them. Some of you may have children with this a particular person. They may have children, but there may just be some things that you could be doing when it comes to decisions or staying with a certain person that has a, like your family and how you may have been raised, in the way that has you respond and make choices or allow certain things to happen that don't need to happen. So our patterns, or what we allow, the allowance of the other person, can be a reflection of our own inner state. And not being afraid of walking away from somebody that's might not be healthy for us. So recent past, world in reverse, a lot of questions being asked, or questions that you might ask yourself but not really having that closure yet because you don't have complete clarity on your mind. Chariot in reverse, that's usually when we have an issue with a canceled plan or something not really moving forward, or energy where you flip out or you have this destructive behavior and everything comes to a complete halt. Sometimes that's, now be careful. Sometimes when you're drinking and you're driving, you might have a minor accident or issues like that. I know that some people get into confrontation, things like where they feel like their car or their possessions are going to be harmed by someone. Don't think in those ways. Don't think about fear. Now, these things always could happen, but don't think about fear in that way, because we can definitely attract those things. All right. Now, the person you're dealing with, they may just be having some issues with resentment at times, and it's really clinging on to past things that may have hurt you and the other person as well, which could be causing you a bit of frustration, because it's where you feel like you may be hopeful about a connection blossoming again. You may have some energies of obstacles and the sexual frustration and pent up emotions that might be there. And even though the sun is coming out for what they intend to do with you, it's two things coming through where they have these energies of wanting to have fun or be around you, but they still don't have an energy of really making the change that they need to make by being very honest and upfront about the connection and moving forward. So you might even feel like this person has some kind of power over you, that they, for some reason, they have this hold and desire on you. But I feel what needs to happen is for you to take your own power back, and for you to feel really good about yourself, healthy, alive, and making sure that you're not giving that away to somebody else where you feel a bit insignificant or insecure. And this is always when you run to the other person instead of having that come around naturally for yourself. So I feel like there may be a temporary separation or some kind of divorce or something that might be happening with the Hierophant in reverse right now. That's meaning that you're just weighing up the pros and the cons of this connection and seeing how things might go. So just be aware of those kind of energies. Yeah, that person seems to want to have fun in a sense. It's almost like doing their own thing, but maybe connecting to you completely. That might be something that causes an issue. The all talk or this energy of sometimes, even when you're dreaming about somebody, right? And they may not have been around for a year, 2 years, 3 years. That can be a spiritual attack in some way, and you need to realize that. And the reason why I say that, because it can't keep coming to me a few different times. So I feel like you have to be aware of the difference, and you can only learn that through your own personal experience with someone else and why it continues to happen. All right. And it can be very confusing at times, but the good thing about it is that you can learn from it. You can know the difference at times. We have to be patient with that. So that's why the Eight of Wands coming through with the Emperor in reverse. I feel like if we're going to work towards something, working towards our own confidence to be able to step away from something or someone that might not be doing this right, that might not be honest with us or just with us. So it is not automatically telling you to move away from whoever you might be into. It's telling you to put everything into perspective of what I'm talking about here, taking your time and being patient this week. And if there are red flags and they continue, be aware of it. Don't just push it to the side. All right, so that's your reading. I hope the messages did help out. I wish you the best, and you can always get a private or personal reading that relates to your energy directly. So I wish you the best. Have a good one.